to be loaded in order to survive there. But I had an end goal and I wanted to grow. I knew I had to grow, and I didn't like the program here, just because I felt it didn't give me kind of the flexibility that I wanted. Um, and then also looking for opportunity. Like, I felt that there was more opportunity in America. I felt I could get more or get ahead further. And I mean, I think that is also the dream they sell you, is that, the American dream. And I mean, I did. I got a job. The last day of, I missed my graduation because I was working.
Oh.
Yeah, and they, for this nonprofit called Africa, that was, they funded programs in Africa. And I was a part of the communications team, and it was actually because of my graphic design degree, not the comms degree, that they gave me a special visa. They paid for me to stay there, and work there for 2 years. And it was amazing. Like, it was actually a dream come true. But I really enjoyed it, working there, just because the majority of the people that worked there were Black Americans. And we were obviously helping, Africans. And I had a lot of autonomy. I mean, we would plan events. We did the annual report, and every year I got to design it how I wanted it. So I had a lot of like freedom and autonomy, and it was a pleasant work environment. The only thing that was unpleasant about it is that I felt like people thought that you do too much. Like, girl, you come from Jamaica, you do too much.
If you had the stereotype, because you have like 2-3 jobs, but you were doing 2-3 jobs in the company.
Because I would leave there like 7 o'clock, and I enjoyed work. Work was something that I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
I'll be there late.
Yeah.
So I was the only one there. Everybody else went home. People think America is the end of the be all.
Yeah.
There's Canada.
Yeah, right.
There's this girl on TikTok right now talking about living in Vienna. And I'm like, yeah, people should know that like there are other places that you can move to.
Yeah. And I think that's part of it. Part of the purpose of this show is like to see how it's done there. And yes, I'm highlighting people who came home specifically, because there are people who wanted us and don't know the first way how to, but it's also for younger people to be like, I can try it. And it's not just American, it's not just, you're the first person that came to me that went to America. Most people go there, so I'm trying to show other places. But this was also in DC, right? Which that's a fun place, kind of people like me, but you were like, you liked your job, so you were working. And I'm sure your daughter was home at that time, you had to pay school fees, you had responsibilities, whatever it is. So
I was very fortunate, because I had the support of my parents. So my mother kind of jumped in, so she would do the pickups and all of that. But it was at that particular time it was rough because she was doing GSAT. So there was a lot of anxiety and there was a lot of pressure, and I think they put a lot of pressure on them.
On the kids, because they have to pass. So the GSAT is it's called the Grade 6 Achievement Test, and it's where here you transition from prep or primary school or elementary school to high school, and so it's kind of high stakes for kids, but they're 11 and 12, so it gets really intense. So the pressure was on, and you wanted to be here with her for that.
I would say it was probably the most difficult decision I ever made in my life. To give up a job that I loved and cared about, and I saw myself going into making. Because basically my manager was like, if you go home for these 2 weeks, I was asking for 6 weeks, and I had just gotten the visa. I couldn't travel before, so I just got the visa, and she was like, if you go home, I'm not going to make you manager. I have you like on the trajectory to manage this team with 3 of us at the time, and actually 5 of us at the time. And she's like, if you go, I'm not going to make you manager. And it was the most difficult decision I ever made in my life. But you do things for your kids, like,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You do things for your kids, and my mother was like, she's so anxious. You know, just came from the doctor, like, she's having, anxiety, palpitations, whatever. And I was like, you know what? I just need to just go there and be with her. I took it 2 weeks. And, it was great. Like, I think really it was just that she needed me there, and she needed me there to tell her that it's okay. Like, it's not. And I mean, it is a very stressful time for them, because if they don't pass, they don't make it to the top school, and it's a lot of pressure, especially because they tell them, like, you don't have to go to the dumb people's school,
right,
or whatever, So she made it to Andrews, and we were obviously happy because my grandmother went to Andrews, my mother went to Andrews, I went to Andrews, so it was perfect for us. But that sacrifice was that I didn't become manager. And so after working all of this time to get this,
and so hard, like above and beyond,
and it's not like you can get a special visa to go work anywhere else.
Right.
So it's almost like my future has been stagnated. And my manager, she was not easy on me. She didn't make it easy for me. She made it obvious that, you did this. She thought I was coming for vacation, because you tell people, oh, you're going to go sit on the beach. It's not really a, and what is it? And what is this GSAT thing? Because it's not something there that they
familiar with. So I think you're making it up to get 2 weeks off.
Pretty much.
Don't be a boss like that. Be an empathetic boss. Don't do that.
Yeah. So I didn't stay there much longer, because the writing was on the wall after that. And I decided to come home. And my parents obviously weren't happy. They were like, why do you need to stay? Just spread it out. Yeah, just spread it out. It's not that serious, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but it is. Yeah.
It's that serious.
It is that serious.
It's my mental health every single day in your job. Every single day. And also knowing that you would have been that manager. So there's that dynamic. You would have been that manager, but no, you're just a member of the team, and you're probably still having the same responsibilities, because they don't say to you, oh, because I didn't promote you, you show this promise of this. They're giving you the same way, but you're paying up matching. And you're also not reporting someone else. It's not about that. It's about the fact that you could have been at it. Anyways, and also know your manager is being difficult. Your boss is difficult.
Yeah.
And you're also away from your kids.
You're doing too much. You were doing too much. This Jamaican thing where you're working too hard. And I actually remember a situation where the person that actually was promoted, she was saying she doesn't like Jamaica. She said it. So someone about her uncle came here and died. And she's like, I don't really like Jamaica. And I was just like, wow, this is what I have to deal with.
Right. And when you tell your parents back home, they're like, that's nothing. Like, what are you saying? If she don't like it, that's not your business. And that's hard. That's a reality, right? One of the realities is that, okay,
and this is not all, these are black people. These are white people. These are black people.
Right. Yeah. And that's hard. And that's hard to deal with every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes people, when you're away and you're, making, like, people don't necessarily understand some of these dynamics. But I'm happy that you shared that. So you packed up. What was that like? Like, you've been there for a while now. Was it hard to pack up and leave? Outside of the job, being there, was it hard to come home?
It's so funny because a girlfriend of mine came to visit me when I had come here, and she was like, what is it like? Because she had left England and came back, and I was like, it's so not worth it. Like, I think maybe if I had found a partner and you need somebody to build with there, or you need to be like below it.
Right.
It's a lot of sacrifices, and I think I was tired in a lot of ways. Like, we worked so hard to get to this point, and then one, kind of hiccup, and you're kind of like, okay, what am I going to do? So basically starting from ground zero. I was fortunate I had a friend who got me a job here at an agency. and I was able to transition pretty quickly, so I wasn't out of a job. But the pay obviously didn't match.
Right.
Nothing in comparison.
Right.
I think I was getting maybe like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. That's real.
More money,
That's real.
So the pay didn't match up, and then, they didn't have benefits. Like I had a 401k, I had health insurance, I had everything. And not only that, like there was this like work culture where they were taking stuff to lunch. We had so many like perks to working there. Like they, depending on what day it was, they bring in something or whatever. And obviously in Jamaica it's not like that. Entrepreneurial agency, it's 12, 15 hour days. You're lucky if you get a thank you. Like, and I was still doing 2-3 jobs when I was there. But at that point I realized I was doing it for me and not for somebody else. I was doing it so that I could get the experience that I needed and the networking, so that when I was ready to do my own thing, I knew what to do. So I did I would do the production, I would do the graphic design for the ads, I would talk to the client, I would do the budget. Like I just did everything. Sometimes I would just step over the graphic design and sit down and do my edit.
And then you know what, move away.
Send the emails for you, it's taking too long.
Oh my goodness. I can see that. You're very about your business. I could 100, I'm seeing it now. You know what, just started. Just move.
Right. Radio script, everything.
Wow.
The contract, everything. So now it's like nothing for me.
Right.
Having my own agency is like nothing. I can do everything now.
Yeah.
And I know how to do everything. Yeah.
So you're here in 2019. So you went back for a short amount of time. Is this how long after? So you came, you were working, you came back for your daughter's thing, you left the non-profit, and then you were working all that time, but you went back. So this is before you started your agency.
So my brother filed for me.
Okay.
And it took a long time. It took a couple of years, and one day I get the call that you need to come in and we did the whole process. And I think at that time I was still thinking that because I had lost the opportunity, that I would get another opportunity to come by going back. Somehow in my mind I thought, I don't know why, but yeah. And it's funny enough, I didn't mention this, and I would like to mention it. The person that let me go, she called me back and asked me to come back.
Of course, because you're excellent.
She's like, I need you.
Yeah. After all of that.
Nobody can do what you can do. And I was like, yeah, see?
Yeah.
I told you. Listen.
Oh my gosh.
But because I'm a quiet storm, I just, just sit and do your work diligently. But anyway, yeah, so I decided I didn't want to go back to DC, I didn't want to go to New York, I was going to go to Miami. So anybody who's thinking about moving, don't go to Miami. Don't go to Miami.
Okay.
If you're professional services, maybe you're a doctor or something like that, but professional services, don't go to Miami. I must have applied for 100 jobs. In the 3 months that I was there, I applied to 100 jobs, from retail to cashier to, working at Chipotle, every job you could possibly think of. I only got one interview. And I remember 3 months without a job, like I didn't have enough money. So
in Miami's expensive.
Very expensive. I didn't have a car, so I had to take Uber everywhere. It was expensive. So after 3 months, I was just like, the money was running out. I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. What is the point of this? And so I did my tail for 2 minutes later, and I just came back home. And it was embarrassing because it's like, yeah, we get my green card, no, yeah, things fun up.
Right.
No, that is
right.
That's a
the reality, yeah.
Also that they tell you that you get your green card.
Everything is open for you.
No. And I mean, I just decided that I would rather be a big fish in a small pond than a small fish in this huge pond. So I mean, at least here, I have a network, I know people, it's easier to find a job based on my reputation, based on my work and stuff like that. So I came back,
Yeah. At this point, how old was your daughter? Still in school, or was she in middle
She
school?
was in high school.
Okay.
And she was mad. She was mad that I left again. She was like, why are you going again? To stay, But I was like, oh my God, I can't give up on this opportunity.
Right.
Especially,
try.
yeah, especially because you do the application, you spend money, you wait all that time.
Right.
You figure
you can't just come and you don't do anything with it. Like, yeah. Got you. So you're back. You're like, okay, this is from, so when you came back this time, okay, fine, you had a different type of disappointment, but did this time feel final, or did it feel like, yeah, the final?
I was like, I have to make this work. I need to make it work, regardless. And I worked at other agencies, and, I just realized that nobody's going to pay me what I'm worth.
Right.
So I might as well do my own thing and make more money.
Back.
I mean, it's just, it's common sense. Come on, it's not like they have to hire somebody and pay them lower salary so that they can make a profit. That's just how it is. I mean, and I'm not knocking them, but after doing that for a certain amount of time, you realize what's happening, and you're like, oh, well, it's okay.
Right. And that's a part of career progression too, because you would have paid your dues, so to speak, at multiple places. So now the next, if you were to get promoted in those agencies, it would be their job. So now you just have to graduate.
Yes.
So it's math, as you said. Okay, so 2019 you start your agency,
Right before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic. And what was that like for you?
I would not recommend that to anyone to do.
Well, you didn't know the pandemic was
I didn't know it was going to happen. All right. So the Storyteller is the premier, as far as I'm concerned, luxury, lifestyle, and marketing agency. We focus on hospitality, tourism, real estate, finance, anything, upper echelon, anything luxury, that's our thing. I've worked with, boutique hotels. I've worked with, one of my clients is an alcohol company. I work in a financial institution as well, and then I work with personal brands, helping them to be seen, basically, to cut through the noise and be seen. So anything from, getting interviews, getting stories and features, similar to this, to helping them with their social media, their content, whatever that looks like. And I'm at the Storyteller JA on Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the 3 tips for anyone deciding to come back to Jamaica. I would say, which I think what a lot of people do, is save up as much as you can so you have a cushion. And the pandemic has taught us that we can do remote work. Like, you don't have to physically be anywhere anymore. You can have a remote job, get paid in US. I mean, I would say do that if you can. You know what I mean? And also realize that Jamaica is difficult. Things take a little longer, but it's the simplicity of life. Like, life is so much simpler here than in America. You have to figure out how you're going to get to work. But not to say that you don't have to figure that out here too, because it can be stressful here, in the bus and all of that. But if you're late for work, your boss really not going to vex with you, because I understand what you have to deal with out the road there. You're late for work in the States, oh my God, they dock your pay, all of that. So
just pack up right now.
Yeah, we just have a, well, everybody says everything takes long, but in Italy they call it la dolce vita, the sweet life. Just take your time. Just take your time. Like, it's not that stressful, So I mean, if that's what you're looking for, the simpler life, perfect. Jamaica is perfect for that. And if you get bored, you just go on a plane and go there for a little bit. It's not that hard. We have so many more flights now.
Right? Why is the option? I can see that.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thank you so much. And is there anything that you wanted to share? Anything with the discussion that you want to talk about a little bit?
I think it's important to note that Storyteller is a women-led agency, women-owned. There are not many of those here in Jamaica. And so, you know, what comes with that, right? You know, you face with a lot of challenges as a woman, but we are also, you know, strong and capable, and just know that as a woman you can accomplish anything that a man can do and better.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
So I have one question.
Yeah.
I've noticed at a couple of junctures in your life you had difficult decisions to make, and you were just like, from the outside opinion, it was just like, I'm doing this, and this is what I'm gonna do. Do you think so? One is when you were having your daughter, and I guess when you were choosing to come back each time, when you were choosing to leave to come for your daughter's return, like, do you think that's like just you, or do you think along the way that was a skill? It was like that tenacity, but also that, like, I don't want to say it's like stubbornness, but it's like a decisiveness about things. Do you think that's something that's innate to you, or something that people could like learn?
I think that we all have it in us. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm super religious, even though I grew up Christian, but I do have a belief in myself and that I'm making the right decisions. Sometimes other people don't think it's the right decision, but I feel you have to really search your heart. And if it's something, if you believe in God, pray about it. If you're analytical, you weigh the pros and cons. It's also like, I think, if you believe that things are going to work out for the best, and you tell yourself that, because it's also a mindset thing, they usually do. And most of the things that you get upset about, or most of the things that bother you, are pretty fixable. Like, pretty fixable. You just have to believe in yourself. You just have to believe in yourself and believe that you're making the right decision. And I think a lot of the times people worry too much about what other people think. And I think for a long time, for me, the shame of being a young single mother, I used to pander to other people's opinions a lot. And now it's like in my 40s, I'm like, if you don't like me, it's okay. I'm being myself, I'm being authentically myself. I'm doing the best that I can do to be the best person that I can be. And either you like me or you don't like me. Simple. And yeah, life can be difficult. There can be difficult challenges, but usually things work out in the end.
That's so real. I'm glad we're ending on that note. So I'm going to say thanks for watching this episode, and see you next time on Repatriate Stories.